Okay, hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Extended Voice Memos. I finally decided on the name and I really like that one. So, also, if you see like the camera quality is a little different, it's because I'm like trying to experiment with different stuff. Last time I filmed with my like Sony camera, but now I'm trying like the photo booth app in my MacBook. But yeah, I don't have a mic yet, so sorry if the audio is a bit like echoey or whatever, but you guys are actually like propped up on a box of instant rice. So that like speaks to the production quality of everything. But anyways, today I wanted to talk about the power of a rebrand. So, I feel like I've changed so much from high school, from like senior year of high school to now after 1 year of being in college, and I've never changed so much, like fundamentally down to my core beliefs and my ideals. I've never changed so much so quickly like this before. And I think it's because college, you're forced to pretty much reinvent your whole life. I mean, when else are you going to be like thrust into a new environment, in a new place where you have to completely rebuild your social circle and, you know, like single handedly rebuild your entire life in such a short amount of time? And I feel like those types of situations, they like make your growth, your personal growth increase like exponentially. And I feel like all my high school friends that I talk to and we talk about our college experiences, like I feel like they've all became the person that I always thought they would be. For example, in high school, I would see like little bits of their real personality, or like I would see bits of like the person that I can feel that they're going to become. I can see that shining through, but I think just because when we're kids, when we're younger, like we care about popularity too much and like fitting in and being normal, or like I don't know, being popular, stuff like that. And also because like in high school, our group, like the people in our school, there's less people, so it's just like harder to kind of differentiate yourself and kind of lean into like your real personality. And I feel like um all of my friends from high school, I would see everyone going their different ways in college, but they've become like low key the exact person that I thought they would become, but in the best way possible. And I feel so lucky all the time to have like such independent and like mature, nuanced friends. Like I forget how good of a thing that is, or like how rare that can be, because I just feel like my whole social circle like is surrounded by all these very strong independent women, and I forget that like that's actually very rare. And I love having like these talks with my friends because we're able to be like super like stupid and just laugh at anything, yet we're able to like lock in and then have these very deep convos about like stuff like this, where we are in life. And like people, like I feel like my friends are very self-aware about their like identity and stuff, like they know who they are, or even if they don't know who they are yet, like they know that. And I love having friends that are like, we're able to laugh about stupid things. Like for example, I have this one friend from high school, and we would like, for example, go to cafes or something, and sometimes we would spend like whole entire minutes without talking because we would just be people watching. And then the smallest things would crack us up, and then we would laugh without talking, but like we know what we're laughing about, and it's just like unspoken, but then we're able to lock in and talk about these deeper things. And I feel like those are the types of friendships that I try to value the most, the ones where like we're able to be very like stupid with each other without judgment, but then we're able to like connect on a deeper level and really understand each other and talk about these life things. But yeah, I feel like in the moment, like while we are changing, we don't feel like we are like changing that much. I think, like for example, me right now, I still feel like the same me as I've always been, and I still feel like, oh, I'm still Kira. But I don't realize until I actually look back and reflect that I think I'm a completely different person from like 1 year ago me, like the start of college or like high school senior me up till now. I mean, I think I'm a very different person from like 1 month ago up till now, you know? And it's not just like personal style or like music taste, which obviously those things have changed as well for me, but down to like my core beliefs and priorities and values, I've never had something change me so much down to like those things before college. But yeah, anyways, I think that like when I first started college, I was very much still in like my like K-pop, K-R&B phase. I listened to a lot of like Asian artists too, like 88 Rising and like Keshi, um, that type of stuff. Let's see, what did I like back then? It's very interesting. I feel like my aesthetic, like if we're talking about like boxing people into an aesthetic, which I have some thoughts about that. But anyways, like if we're talking about that, um, I think I was very much still like not necessarily like in a Koreaboo phase, but very much like leaning towards that type of stuff. I really liked like stationery, and like washi tape and cute stickers and all of that, which I still do. But also, I feel like these days I'm like, why am I collecting all this? But I'm not even gonna use all them because like I have this thing where if a stationery is like really pretty, I will not want to use it. So then I'll just like keep it in my drawer. Or like I displayed a lot of my washi tapes on my desk in my dorm, but then I didn't realize that like the window was right behind my desk. So the sun would always beat down on it and it discolored all my washi tapes without me realizing till the end of the year for like move out because I never touched my washi tapes. But yeah, I think nowadays I'm much more into like um I guess like Western artists. Like I've been listening to a lot of, let's see, like Malcolm Todd, Daniel Caesar, Miguel, Frank Ocean. What else? I feel like these days I don't follow a lot of artists like very closely. Oh, I've been listening to Don Toliver a lot. That's like that's a random thing. But anyways, I feel like I don't follow any specific artist very closely these days. I just kind of like I try to listen to a lot of whatever, and I'm trying to like expand my music taste. So if anyone has some music recs, I'm all ears. But yeah, and I think I used to be very much like kind of into like the whole Asian like Korean-ish type of fashion and makeup. And nowadays I'm like trying to lean more into, okay, this is like a side tangent, but I think in the past I used to kind of like want to be paler. Well, I think it's a very Asian thing where your family, like you have so much kind of noise from other people telling you like that whole mindset where like the beauty standard is very fair skinned women, you know? And I would always have family that like, for example, when I went back to the Philippines to see family, we went to the beach and stuff, and then we came back and I like got really tan, and my grandma was being all like, "Oh, it's okay. Like you'll get lighter again in a few weeks. Like, oh, I have some brightening soap. You can borrow that. Like it'll be okay." But I think it's just that mindset where people view like getting tan as a bad thing, where I wanted to be paler. And also because like I really liked the like Korean makeup or like Douyin makeup, like that very kind of cool tone makeup that would suit a lot of paler women. But I realized like somewhere along the line that like I'm always gonna be a little bit tan no matter what. So might as well just lean into my natural features, you know? And like what is wrong with that? Like literally there's nothing wrong with that. So somewhere along the line I like stopped wearing silver completely and then I like only wear gold nowadays. And I've been trying to get a lot more into like warm tone stuff. I feel like I'm wearing red more because it suits my skin color more. But anyways, I've been like trying to get more into, I guess, like thrifting, more like a little bit streetwear type of fashion. Ooh, you know what I've been wanting a pair of these days? I kind of want to get a pair of the Uggs Low Mel sneakers, like the chunky Ugg sneakers. I feel like that would look really good with some like baggy jean type tight top combo. But anyways, yeah, like I look back on like start of college me, and I feel like that version of me really like did not have too much life experiences. Like, yes, I worked hard, and like, yes, we got into college or whatever and stuff like that. And I think I would say that I've always been like kind of a more mature type of person. Um, like just ever since. Because I feel like growing up, I would have not much problem like hanging out with adults. Like if we were hanging out with a bunch of family friends and stuff like that, I would like have no problem sitting with the adults and like hanging out with them and having convos with them. I think that back then I had like less life experience and like less um like exposure to like a bunch of different situations and like people. And I was very kind of like career focused, you know. I would kind of be like, oh, what's the point in like, I don't know, pursuing a relationship or like a connection or anything, or like, oh, having kids will only slow you down career wise, stuff like that. I was very much that mindset. But now I kind of feel like, yes, it's true. You can have like anything you want in the world. For example, like you could be the most successful person, you could achieve all your dreams, but at the end of the day, like if you have no circle to share it with, then like what's the point? I think you're just gonna feel very empty. And there is nothing wrong with that. And another thing, it's like I used to value ambition a lot, you know, but I think there is nothing wrong with like just wanting a chill like fulfilling life. And there is completely nothing wrong with people just like who just want to live their life and just be content. And I think sometimes I started feeling guilty a little bit about wanting certain things in life or like having certain goals in life, because I would start thinking like why can't I be satisfied in life? You know, like why can't I be more grateful in life? Like why do I always feel like I need to be achieving more in the future, or why do I feel like I want more, I want to have more in the future? Like is that a bad thing to be ambitious like that, because it means that you're not able to like be satisfied with what you have right now? Or is it something that I should lean into and like use that to fuel my like work ethic and like my drive and stuff? I feel like there's a very fine line between being ambitious and like wanting certain things in your life, like in your future, versus kind of like taking it too far and disregarding the connections you have in your life. Because I think both of them are very important, but at the same time, it is very nice to have friends or like people in your circle who share that kind of ambition with you. Because, for example, one of my friends, Isabelle, I think we both, like, get each other a lot regarding ambition and also, like, balancing that with connection, because we would always have these talks. I mean, like, this morning I was just talking to her before I recorded this, but we were talking about, like, Anthony Bourdain and how his life is just very cool, you know, and his life is so interesting, and we just want to have, like a beautiful life like that, where I mean it's like, yeah, you could achieve everything you want in the world, but like is that what's going to make you happy? And if not, then like just start pursuing what makes you happy, you know. I think I started thinking about this one idea recently, but it's like, don't forget to live your life while you're in the process of rebuilding it. Because I think that I started like wanting to get into, or I started wanting to like intentionally rebrand myself a few months ago. But sometimes I would like get into these mindsets where like it was all I can think about, you know? Like all I can think about is like working towards a new version of myself. But I'm like, don't forget to live your current life and don't forget to like make these current memories and stuff while you're still in the process of change. But yeah, I think there is so much power in like intentionally giving yourself a rebrand and intentionally like undergoing a major change in your life, because it just gives you this control over your life. And I think it's very symbolic for like shedding an old phase in your life and like entering a new phase. And I realized like somewhere along the line in college, like you only have one life and nobody's gonna tell you what to do. Like literally, I think in high school, everyone follows the same exact thing. Well, I talked about this a little bit in my last episode, but everyone follows like the same exact pathway, and it's very easy to just like follow the set pathway and like do what everyone else is doing. But now in the real world, it's like everyone wants different things in life, or to some extent, yeah. And there is no like guideline, or like nobody's gonna tell you what to do because everyone wants something else to do. Like everyone needs to figure that out themselves to some extent. So it's all up to you, you know? It's like you have to take the initiative in doing what you want to do in this life. And I think everyone knows that, like in their head, everyone knows that because it's all over like, I don't know, self-improvement talk or like whatever, you know, like it's all over social media, or like people always say that, but it's completely different knowing that in our head versus truly feeling the weight of that. Like truly feeling the weight of, oh, if I'm not gonna do anything, if I keep just like coasting along with life, where am I gonna end up? Because I would always like envision my future as like, oh, I want to be able to travel this much, or like I want to be able to have like a side thing or like a side hustle where I'm able to like be passionate about it, or I want to be able to create content and stuff. And I would just envision these things, but then you realize if like present day you is not actually gonna like start working towards that, that's just not gonna happen. And yes, there's like all this manifestation, like visualization stuff, which I believe in, yeah. Because I feel like every major thing that I've like had in life, I kind of low-key manifested it in a way, but I didn't realize I was manifesting it. But anyways, like yes, you can manifest, and like yes, you can do all this stuff, but you still have to like put in the work. And it's kind of scary to know that, like to know that whatever life you want, whatever future you want, it's all up to you. And like it's all up to you to at least try to make that happen, you know. And I think in the past, like I've always wanted to start making content, right? And I feel like I've only really started that now. I mean, like with this podcast, right? Like in the past, I would dabble a little bit in it. Like in high school, I started like this studygram for a little bit, but I got bored or something. I forgot. But anyways, I stopped like making content for that. And at the start of college, I like made a few videos, but then I got busy and I stopped. And I think part of it is this kind of mental block where I would kind of worry about people from real life like finding out that I'm trying to make content, and I'm like, oh, but that's kind of cringe. But at the end of the day, I started being like, who gaps? Like, who actually cares? Because the people who are gonna judge, they're like not very relevant in your life. I mean, maybe that's because I go to a big school, but at the end of the day, who cares? The downsides of being judged, or like having all this negative attention, or being perceived, I guess. Maybe that's the word. I think the downsides of being perceived are nothing close to the pros of pursuing what you truly want in life, right? And also because I think everyone's doing content these days, like everyone's vlogging, everyone's just making silly little TikToks. At the end of the day, like, it's not even cringe. Just like do what you want and have fun with it, you know. But also, another thing that I've been thinking about these days, I think that if you want to pursue something new, um, I think you will get further in that pursuit if you just do it because, like, for the love of the game, because you just enjoy it, versus if you're doing it for a specific outcome. Like, for example, when I dabbled in a little bit of content at first, I was like, okay, my main goal is like, I want this many followers, or like, I want to be this big by this certain date. And that was like my main motivation, I guess. But now I'm just kind of like, just make whatever I want to make and then do stuff for fun. Like this podcast, I'm kind of just doing this for fun because I feel like I always have like a lot of random thoughts and I always send voice messages. So I'm like, why not just do this, you know? And I'm not really like expecting much out of it, but I feel like it's those things where like if you don't expect that much out of it and you're working purely like for the right intentions, I think you'll get further in life because you're actually like, you actually care about that stuff and it won't feel like you're just chasing one arbitrary thing. But I think that the most interesting people that I've met, like my high school friends or like people in college, are the ones who are not afraid to pursue their interests and be open about them in public. I think it's very nice, or like it's so interesting to have convos with people who know a little bit about everything and like they learn about the things that they want to learn about because they're like actually interested, and then you just feel it like in their energy, and it's just like so fun to talk to these people. And I think one thing is, I feel like all of my friends, or most of my friends that I keep in my inner circle, they're all like that. And sometimes I think that that's normal because like everyone in my circle is like super like, I respect them so much, and I I like look very highly of my friends. And I think that sometimes I think that's normal because all my friends are like that, but then I forget like, oh, maybe it's like that because I intentionally like I chose who I want to keep in my inner circle. Which is another thing. It's like, I think it's very important to keep like to be intentional about your social circle, because I think that, yeah, people say I'm a nice person. A lot of people say I'm a nice person, and I don't mean that as a way to like be bragging about myself or something. But I think people only really say that because those are the people that I choose to keep in my circle. And I think it's very important to keep your circle intentional because that's like who you're gonna surround yourself with every day, you know? I think somewhere along the line in college, I just like had this realization, something clicked for me, where it's like I owe it to myself to do everything I said I wanted to do. And it's low key, if you think about it, sometimes the weight of that, it can feel like a life or death situation for me. Or I don't know if this is like or like relatable to anyone else, but sometimes it feels like doing the things that I say I want to do, it feels like a life or death. Like this is like your one shot. Like you only get one life. So just like do whatever you want. Like you just have to go for it, and you owe it to no one else but yourself. And I think that's the scariest part. Like you owe it to yourself. No one's going to tell you to do anything. No one else is going to be disappointed by anyone's shortcomings except for you. And that's like a very weird feeling because it's like yeah, no one really will get mad at you, or like no one will get disappointed in you. Like you won't potentially ruin any like relationships with people, but it's with yourself. And like the disappointment that you potentially will feel in yourself, it runs very deep, you know, because like, I mean, it's just you, yourself. And yeah. But I think that like at this stage in life, it's just kind of just like do whatever you want to do. Um, like I was saying last time, this age is like the perfect age where you have so little responsibility, yet you are like having some freedom as a young adult, and then you have like you still have this energy, and like you still have your health for the most part to pursue whatever you want to pursue. And it's just like, just go for it, just go full send and just go for whatever you want to do in life. That is my thoughts on the power of a rebrand. But that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening. Just go do whatever you want to do in life, and like pursue whatever interests you have, because at the end of the day, you only live once. And I know that's such a like, what is it, like an overused phrase, but really, like, if you think about it and take in the weight of that knowing, or like the weight of that fact, it's like, it really pushes me to think about like, am I doing what I want to do in life? And am I making use of like the time I have? And like, am I satisfied, or like, am I happy with where things are going, you know? But that's just something to think about. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.